What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about water damage estimates. And specifically, we're going to look at 5 different things that you can do to fight off the insurance company when they try to whittle down your estimate or your invoice. If you own a restoration company and you do water damage jobs and you want to protect your estimates and your profit, do not skip this video. Let's go. All right, guys, so as we get started, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button and drop a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. All right, guys, so here's the first thing that we did, the first thing that you should do right now. And I didn't do this for many, many years because nobody told me that I could. Nobody told me that I should. I just did this on my own, but it was this. We got off of Xactimate. Guys, you don't have to use Xactimate for water damage restoration. You really do not. Guys, we started off as contractors, then we got into reconstruction, and then we got into water mitigation. There was a while that we used Xactimate for recon, but we still did not use Xactimate for water mitigation. If you want to use Xactimate on reconstruction, that's fine with me. I don't really care. All right, that's up to you. But when it comes to water mitigation, it is imperative. If you want to make more money and you're tired of fighting the adjusters, get off of the devil's tool, y'all. The insurance company owns Xactimate. Did you know that? Verisk owns that. Verisk literally assists in underwriting policies, like the parent company. Like, it's the devil's tools, y'all. They sell their stuff to insurance adjusters. They make a little bit of money from contractors. Most of their money is made by selling the software to adjusters all over the country, okay, or all over the world for that matter. So the first thing you do is get off Xactimate. If you are going to get off Xactimate, you have a couple of options. Number one, if you want to go from dumb to slightly less dumb, you can go from Xactimate to Symbility. That's an alternative tool other than Xactimate. I wouldn't tell you to do that because one's the devil's tool, the other one's the demon's tool. Symbility is just like Xactimate. Their core parent company is CoreLogic, who also bought Dash. And so anyway, I'm just telling you this. Those two companies, they are here to serve the insurance industry, not to serve contractors. And the reason why they want to sell their software to contractors and brainwash all you guys is because the best way for them to control pricing across the country and across the globe is to own the software that handles the pricing. Like, do you guys not understand? Do you not see this? So I'm just telling you, and they brainwash you and tell you the only way you can get paid is use their garbage software. And it's not true, because I got off of it and we got off of it for years, okay? And you can absolutely get off Xactimate. We used QuickBooks Online in the end, okay? You could use Joist if you want, but QuickBooks Online will work just fine. We went there, and here's the reason why. We already had a QuickBooks account, okay? And everything you could put into another estimating platform like Joist, you can do in QuickBooks. So we actually built our own line items. So here is an estimate, guys, of just an example of us using QuickBooks, okay? And you can see that it's itemized. And this video is not to kind of go through that, but necessarily I'm just showing you what it looks like. So it's similar. We've got it itemized, and we've got it broke down per piece. You can use QuickBooks, and this is this here. If you want to get these, we actually have a 30-day program where we give you copies of our estimates and our templates, okay? You can just go to workwithshane.com, and we can hop on a 15-minute call. It's a 30-day program, and yeah, we give you these as a result of that. I will say this. If you guys go through, you have to have a restoration company, all right? Because if you're an adjuster, I'm not giving you our estimates, dude. Just ain't doing it, all right? The reason why these things that we show works is because so few people do what we teach, all right? It's what we call the muddy scope, and it's really that. If you see that it was itemized, but it's not something they're used to. Again, I'll share my screen. You can see like equipment setup and delivery. We charge like by the trip instead of by the hour. We charge by the trip, okay? We still list the stuff for the equipment. Dehumidifiers are here and the fans are here and all that stuff, but we do some stuff just a little bit different. The setup and delivery will charge by the piece there. Work performed inside of the source of loss. These are things they just not used to seeing, guys. And when they're not used to seeing it, they don't know what to do with it. And that right there is a $7,000 clean category 1 estimate. And I just know this, for a long time, when I was writing my estimates in Xactimate, I would struggle to get over $5,000, and that's because the software doesn't let you do it. Yo, my stuff does. If you want to learn how to make more, go to workwithshane.com. It's really that simple, okay? But I'm just telling you, you can do it, and you have options. One is QuickBooks Online. Now, there's also another option, which is time and material, and I'll share my screen, and I'll show you what one of those looks like. Okay, so this is a time and material estimate just for John Doe, etc., and we would just put a cover letter on it. This is literally in a Google Doc. It would just be as simple as this, like, this was an $18,000 estimate, and this is a real world deal. Like, we got paid in full. This was Big Red, all right? And this was a job, actually, ironically enough, in my neighborhood. And Yeah, it was an $18,000 job, and this is an example of what we did, and we got paid in full. All the ones that we show you guys are examples that we got paid in full. I'm not going to show you an example of a hypothetical scenario that didn't work, right? These are actual ones, okay? And just know this is the front end piece. There's also a back end that goes to it. Let me see if I can find that for you. Okay, guys, so here's the back end sheet. Again, it's just a Google sheet, and all I did was I copy all of this stuff and then I paste it down here, and you can see this is that summary section that we had just a minute ago, and that's how I break it down. Here's the bigger point. You don't have to use Xactimate. I do these all the time. If I'm working on a water damage job and it's like 20 grand or more, I'm going to put it in a time and material spreadsheet like this for two reasons. Number one, I need a tool to help me make sure that I'm going to estimate the job the right way. And on these bigger jobs, I have to sit down and give a ballpark on how many man hours I think it's going to take and all that jazz. And you shoot high, guys. Here's another problem that you do with Xactimate that's a problem, is you wait till you do the job and then you just bill for what you did. You should go ahead and just write an estimate and write it heavy, write it in the beginning. Right? Because you don't know. You don't know if it's going to be a covered loss. You don't know if it's going to take you that long or not. You are absorbing risk, y'all. So you should just write your estimate heavy and send it in. And then once you're done with the work, don't send them an invoice. Just convert that estimate to an invoice, and like that's it. Don't change your estimate later. Think of it this way. It's kind of like you're doing a bathroom remodel and you send them an estimate for $21,000, and then it turns out that it only cost you 17, okay? So you're lowering the bill to 17 grand. Well, guys, you already absorbed all the risk. That's $4,000 of profit that you should have got. Like, that's the risk. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying or not. You should write the estimate and you should send it in, okay? And if you miss it, it's on you, okay? But like, write it heavy, write it high. Don't miss it. Like, this is no different than being in construction. It's no different than being in construction. Another example would be, you're gonna do a birthday party for your kids, okay? And you don't know how many people are coming. You're not sure, right? You've invited a whole bunch, so you order 25 pizzas, okay? Well, you should write the estimate for 25 pizzas, right? Like, that's all it. What we do in the insurance industry, they've brainwashed us, is you might order 25, but you only ate 17, okay? So the insurance company will be like, well, yeah, but you only used 17. I'm not paying for all those. But you might have needed it. You understand? That's risk. So you should write it heavy for the beginning, up front and up top. Submit that and stay with that. Stay with that. That's not me being greedy. That's just, it's common sense business, guys. There's a reason why most restoration contractors are flat broke. They're not doing it the right way. This is the right way to do it. Hopefully that's helpful. Okay, so we talked about getting off Xactimate. We looked at QuickBooks and we looked at time and material. The next thing that you can do and you should do is don't put sizes on your equipment, okay? Xactimate will have small, medium, large, extra large size DHUs, right? Here's what you should do. Just charge the most expensive DHU and don't charge the size. Let's see if I've got one of these as an example from an estimate. So right here, you can see this, guys. Now, this is an old one, so it's only $82. We bumped our price up. This is from years ago. The bigger point is not the price. You can make the price whatever you want. The bigger point is this. There's not a size on it. And if you don't put a size on it, they're not gonna tell you it was too big or too small, because they don't know. When you put the size on it, then they're gonna start arguing, did you need that size? Why? Because if they can make you charge a smaller size, they know they're gonna save money. Do you understand? Hopefully this is helpful. If it is, drop a comment and let me know. Again, you wanna know more of this stuff. This is the reason why we help you grow your company, by showing you stuff like this that you didn't know. If you want me to help you, go to workwithshane.com and we'll talk, okay? But listen, take the sizes off of the equipment. Take the sizes off the DHUs and just charge more expensive prices. It's pretty simple, okay? And the third thing, so this is kind of similar in the vein of not changing the prices based on the size. Here's the deal, guys. Don't change the pricing based on category of water. This goes back to Xactimate being the devil's tool, guys, okay? In Xactimate, they allow you to charge by the category of water. If it's Cat 1, it might be $1 to do the thing. If it's Cat 2, it might be $1.10. If it's Cat 3, it might be $1.40, okay? So they're actually rewarding you by declaring what category it is and charging more. The only problem is this. Have you ever had an insurance company argue the category of water? Of course they're going to argue the category of water. Why? Because they know that if they can get the category from 3 to 2 or 2 to 1, they might save 30 or 40% on the estimate, depending on how you write it. So here's what I'm telling you guys. Just take the most expensive category that you want, all right, Cat 3, and charge Cat 3 prices on Cat 1 stuff. It's really that simple. To say it a different way, guys, raise your prices. Raise your prices. And again, this is the reason why we got off Xactimate, because even though Xactimate says you're welcome to change your prices, I'll ask you this. Have you changed your prices? Have you? Did Xactimate say, he just changed his prices, we're not paying for that? I know they did. They will say that, or the carrier will. Here's what I'm telling you guys. The reason why we got off Xactimate in the end is eventually you're not going to get paid. It's eventually going to happen. It's going to be a numbers game. You're not going to get paid, and you're going to have to take your customer to court, all right? Now, when you get there, you can take that little white paper from Xactimate that says, hey, you are more than welcome to raise your prices. Xactimate literally says that, but it also says you can charge overhead and profit. Try that and see if that works. It won't work. You want to know why? Because they're going to throw the book at you, okay? So here's what I teach you to do. Just raise your prices so that you're making more than you would have without putting on O&P, and do it on all the estimates, but don't call it O&P. Don't call it overhead and profit. When you do that, it's just going to piss them off, and they won't be able to see straight, okay? They won't be able to see straight. It's like a sexist or racial slur for them. They see blood when you freaking charge overhead and profit. Just don't do that. I'd say just don't do it. It's easier not to charge overhead and profit and just build it into the estimate in other places. It's like putting Easter eggs in your estimate, guys. Hopefully that's helpful for you guys. So don't charge more based on category. Just charge what you charge, okay? And just think of it this way. You're raising your prices. Does that make sense? All right, number 4. The fourth thing you can do is actually change the name of the thing that you do. So if we go to this example, guys, one of the things that you will hear a lot is we don't pay for EMS. We don't pay for emergency service call during business hours. Have you ever heard that before? I'm sure you have. And so here's my point. Don't use EMS. Like, here's the other thing. They go by cost codes. Xactimate and adjusters, they go by cost codes. When you hand them a muddy scope using QuickBooks, they don't have the cost codes to go read. They go from a flow chart, guys. These people don't have brains, okay? They don't have brains. They're overworked and underpaid. They have miserable lives, miserable existences, okay? I feel bad for them. I feel bad for them. But here's my point. They don't know what they're doing. And if you do something that's not going on the flow chart, this stuff will work. I'm just telling you, okay? So don't call it emergency service call during business hours. Just call it service call and just charge what you want to do. And don't put it right up top. Just put it right there. Service call, admin to relocation crews. And like, they may say something, they may not. But here's the other thing. We also charge $285 and we call it initial response. Which one of those is the service call? I don't know. We used to call it initial response, and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna charge them for a service call again anyway. Why? Because I got tired of them fighting me over and over again. Guys, listen, I'm not defrauding insurance companies by any stretch of the imagination. This is your company and you can do whatever the hell you want. Do you understand? You can do whatever you want. This is me doing my thing. Here's what I'll tell you guys. If you're gonna do these things, do them consistently. Don't do them sometimes here and not sometimes there, because now you're being the hypocrite. You need to build a protocol and a system. You need to do it the same way every time. We charge the initial response because we said it was initial response for evaluation of the project. Well, that's what we did. We didn't send a technician out there to go out there immediately. We sent a supervisor, a manager, or the owner to evaluate it first and foremost. If we signed the job, then we'd write the estimate and we'd charge them $285 to evaluate it. Like, that's it. And honestly, we should charge even more, but we didn't, okay? You can call things different things, and that's how it works, okay? When they see a red Lego, they have a form and it says, they used a red Lego, say this instead. That's a flow chart, guys. They don't have anything to combat this stuff. They're used to attacking an estimate made of squares and rectangles, and our estimate, the muddy scope, it's a big blob, and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it. Tip number 5 that you can do, don't dry over 4 days. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. A lot of people are gonna throw stones at me for this, but I don't really care. I don't care how long it takes you to dry the job. The industry will say you gotta do this amount of time. The carrier says you gotta do it that amount of time. It's all a game, dude, okay? It's all a game. An insurance company will pay you for 30 fans for 3 days, but they won't pay you for 3 fans for 30. And it's the same amount of money. It's 3 times 30, that's 90, I think, right? So, but here's my point. 90 is 90 is 90. Those are the units. Appearance matters. You can't say 3 fans for 30 days. They won't pay you for that. But you can say 30 fans for 3 days. Well, maybe you can. But here's what I'm telling you. Assuming that it's a big enough space that it warrants 30 fans. But if you just think about it in the grand scheme of things, right? You could probably get done 30 fans in 3 days with 3 fans for 30 days. You would get it dry either way. And this really comes into play, and it mattered more for me when we were doing hotel jobs, okay? Because hotels are a little bit weird. When you dry commercial jobs like hotels, guys, a lot of times they make you dry it down in stages, and it's not what the S500 wants, but I'm telling you, sometimes if you don't adhere to what these general managers or these building owners want, they will kick you off the job, dude. They will kick you off the job. So you got to be careful. Y'all wonder why I came up with the limited scope mold waiver? Stuff like this, right? I came up with limited scope waivers when people wanted me to break our typical protocol, and there will be cases when you run your company that you will be asked, need, may want to break your normal protocol, and we have a waiver for them to sign in that event. Notice the waiver doesn't remove you of any and all liability. It just says that it does. Will it? I don't know. I mean, you can't just say, sign this waiver, I kill you, and you don't have to go to jail. That's not the way that it works, okay? And you can't just sign the waiver, and that means they can't sue you. But it can be a document or a contract or an instrument stating that if they violate this and they sign it, they are foregoing the right to sue you. But I'm telling you, they still can sue you. They can sue anybody for any reason at any time. I got another story I'll tell you about that. My insurance company sued itself. My insurance company sued itself and tried to sue me. I'll tell you that in another video. So, don't dry over 4 days. Oh, you can, okay? Like if it's class 4 materials, then that's fine, like hardwoods, but just know this. If it's not class 4, I know some of you guys subscribe to the,
hey, it takes 14 days.
Dude, it doesn't take 14 days to dry. I can dry that thing before 14 days. Here's my point. A lot of you guys will dry it for 14 days, drive freaking screws into the wood, into the middle of the earth, trying to get a wet reading so you can dry for longer. Here's what I'm telling you. Let me show you how to get your estimate higher. If I can show you how to get your estimate where it would have been dry in 14 days by using one of our scope estimates, do that. That is easier. That is better than trying to say, well, it was wet for 14 days. I'm just telling you, if you go to court, dude, it's going to be pretty easy for them to find. A lot of companies will say, yes, we can dry it sooner than 14 days. And I can too, and you can too. If you want to make 14-day money, you ain't got to dry for 14 days. Just change your freaking prices. Change your freaking prices. Utilize stabilization. That's what we would do. So if it's going to be a 7-day dry down or an 8-day dry down, what I would do is just put 4 days of stabilization right up top here, okay? If you notice, we put 1 DHU and 2 fans for 2 days, charge them $469. Not for the fan, not for the DHU. It's a muddy scope, you understand? It's a clear declaration of what we're doing and what we're charging, and there's an amount of money. How did I get to $469? I don't know. I thought $468 wasn't enough. I mean, it's my company, dude. I can do what I want. Are you understanding this? Hello? Hello? Do you understand? This is your company. You can do what you want. This is the United States of America. But you can't come up with something unreasonable and expect State Farm to pay for it. But you've got to do these consistently over and over again. And what you will find is they'll pay for some and they won't pay for others. And once you've done this on 20 claims and they paid 10, there you have prima facie evidence. That's a fancy word. You have evidence that they can and will pay for it because you do it the same way. But you got to do it the same way consistently over and over and over again. And this is how I found this out. Guys, this is the difference in living in a little house and a big house. Not the big house, but a big house. I'm not about defrauding insurance companies. That is not what we're saying by any stretch of the imagination. I'm trying to get you to make the money you want to make without defrauding. Change your pricing. Don't alter your scope. Change your pricing, not the scope. Don't over scope. Some of you guys will go out there and you will write for more than you're doing or write more than what you should do. That is wrong. Do you understand? What you should do is just charge the rates you want to charge. Don't say you were there for 2 days when you were there for an hour because you wanted to charge for 2 days. Just make your rate what you want it to be, bro. Here's the deal. Drop a comment. Was this good? Yes or no? Do you want to learn more? Do you want more videos like this? That's the 5 tips that you can use to make more money on your water damage estimates and stop fighting with adjusters. Do me a favor, share this on social media. We'll see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that video, I've got 3 things for you. Number 1, if you haven't yet, click on my face below and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Okay, we put out new content each and every week. Also, if you want me to help you grow your company, go to workwithshane.com. Workwithshane.com, put in your information, we can get on a call and see how we can help you grow your company. Lastly, there'll be some other videos right here. If you want to watch more content about growing your restoration company, check out one of these videos. We'll see you guys on the next one.